Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragon Quest V. It's time for us to head into that cave that leads to the Zenithian Castle. Last episode we found the magma staff in the sky tower and used it to destroy the mountains blocking the entrance to that cave. So now actually going to explore that cave and reach the Zenithian Castle, which is at the bottom of a lake. I don't know how we're going to breathe underwater, but I guess magic. Because we're using magic to make a carpet fly, so I guess it's suspension of disbelief. But we know that the Zenithian Castle fell to the lake a long time ago, because even back as far as Generation 1, there was that nun in Reinhardt who was mentioning that the Zenithian Castle fell. We don't know why the Zenithian Castle fell, though, so maybe we can find out when we go down there to explore it. We'll be taking Pippin. He'll be joining the party for the first time. To go down here because he needs to gain some levels, and we're not able to take the wagon into this cave. And the children, they've been having a lot of time in the spotlight, and we're going to have to use them for the next dungeon, the Fairy Forest, because as shown back in Generation 1, only children can talk to the fairies. We're going to learn why we need to talk with the fairies in this episode as well. But the gimmick of this dungeon is a bunch of mine carts, kind of like Final Fantasy Adventure, with Watts when you're going in that cave to get the silver, so you can go through the mouth of Gaia to chase Julius in the airship. There's going to be a mine cart you got to ride, and you have to hit different switches to make the track take you to where you want to go. Otherwise, it's going to take you to a dead end, or you're going to have to repeat sections over and over again. So we'll be going around flipping switches, gathering some treasure. I'm actually going to make 2 trips through here. One of the disadvantages of this party is that the only healing we have is from Bean. So we're going to make 1 trip down here to get a lot of treasure, and then we're going to take another trip back to complete the cave. So I accidentally removed an extra battle there. So basically you go up to the switches, and it says, do you want to pull the switch? And you want to say yes until you make the switch turn to the correct position. You'll see that on this switch coming up over here, and on some future switches as well. Basically just going to make it so that the like right now below us, once this battle's over, you can see that there's a switch down there, and the way the tracks are oriented, it's going to end up in the at that X, the stop spot. So we're going to have to go to that switch later and switch it so that it takes us straight ahead. Let's switch over to the right, though. We don't have to touch that at all, because you can see the tracks are already set up to take us down to the south, which is where we want to go. So we hop in. Now this switch here, we have to switch it, and you'll notice that the tracks will go from going to the up over to the left. Toggle the switch, and now that'll take us where we need to go. So here's another new enemy, the Islar. They can be kind of annoying because they have the heal us spell, so they can heal pretty much everybody in the party. So you might want to get rid of them first. But I wanted to show their stats off, so I took out the zombie knights there. They're a little less annoying than the Satan spawns that were in the tower, the sky tower. Because at least these guys, they don't cast the beat spell. Let's heal ourselves up here. Like I said, the one disadvantage is it would be nice to have the sun here, because the sun, like I said, has some healing spells, or another monster with healing spells like the Cure, the Healer, or even the King Healer we could have got in the Sky Tower. But we're not using those monsters, and like I said, I want Pippin, he gotta get some use. You know, his entire dream was to grow up to serve the king, and wouldn't really be a good dream for him if he just served the king by hanging out in the wagon all the time. So So this dungeon seems a little long, but actually it's not too long. It's just that right now, on this first trip through, we're getting a lot of the treasures. So we're going out of our way to get the treasure. But when we go through the next time, you'll notice it's a pretty short ride. One of the good things is, at least when you're on those the mine carts, you won't get into random encounters. So that helps speed up the dungeon a little bit. Sneak all around here. This is an annoying floor because you have to go out of your way a few times to hit some toggle switches. If you don't hit the correct toggle switches, you're just going to make a big long trip around and have to repeat areas over again. We got a Dragon Warrior, which is what the game, this series was initially called in America. Because there was a Dragon Quest pen and paper RPG, and they were afraid that releasing this Dragon Quest over in America, they might get sued by that other company. So it became Dragon Warrior. But then this game and Dragon Quest VI were not released in America. So the Dragon Warrior, it only became Dragon Quest after Dragon Quest VIII was released in America. Dragon Quest VII did come out for the PlayStation, the initial PlayStation, but it was still under the Dragon Warrior name. But then once it went to PlayStation 2, Dragon Quest VIII, then it became back to the regular name that it had in Japan. At least when they did release Dragon Warrior 7 over here in America, they didn't do like how Final Fantasies did, where like they just renamed. They would have renamed, in this case, they would have renamed 7-5. Because over in America, they didn't release Final Fantasy 2 and 3 for the Nintendo. So when Final Fantasy 4 came out, they're just like, well, let's rename it Final Fantasy 2. They kept all the Dragon Warriors had the same names. No confusion there. Speaking of confusion, that's kind of an annoying spell. You may have noticed in the last episode, those balloon enemies sometimes cast Confuse, and then your characters would say random things. Some of the chance spells, I believe, also have those similar random effects, where a character will just like say something odd or out of the blue that really doesn't apply to anything. It's just there for like a joke or to waste a turn. So it's almost like the goof-off class in Dragon Quest 3, where they do those random pranks and just basically cause them to lose a turn. So yeah, we see what we missed out. I accidentally cut out first time I was going through here, where I accidentally cut an extra part of that one battle out. We just flip that switch, and then we can hop in this cart and ride our way up and head to this other cart. And we head back down again. Another switch to flip here. As you can see, if you ain't gathering treasure, this dungeon goes pretty quick. So, like I said, it was a good place to bring Pippin. And Sancho's been leveling very slowly too. When he joined I guess I should say, everybody else has been leveling very fast. Pippin, the kids, because they all joined very low level. The kids at level 5, Pippin at level 1, and Sancho was level 20 when he joined us. I wonder if that's a throwback to the recommended level that they say you should have been in the first Dragon Warrior game to fight the Dragon Lord. I just played a hack of that. I'll be playing it shortly. Dragoon X Omega. It's a hack of Dragon Quest 1, and then they do Dragoon X Omega 2, which is a hack of Final Fantasy 1. So they're like sci-fi type games. But yeah, basically, just basically uses all of Dragon Quest 1's assets, but makes it in a sci-fi area. But in that game, everything seems the same, except for some reason the character that takes over for the Dragon Lord in that game seemed much tougher. It was much tougher to defeat at level 20. So maybe they decided to buff that enemy's stats. But don't worry, I did beat it, and we're going through an entire playthrough of that later on. I think this year I'm going to scrap all my ideas of what games I'm going to play, and I'm just going to finish up all the regular Nintendo games that I have. So I clear out all that inventory. So as I said, when we first came down here, this one's going to be going out of the way, a lot of places to just flip switches, just so we can set up the final minecart ride, or this big long minecart ride, set it up to take us where we need to go. So let's hop in it, take a little jump. We switched this level earlier so we can go straight, not back to the beginning. We're going through another one of these long rooms. There's our last treasure chest we need to get. So, if we thought we had a long ride, just to find out how long this guy's been riding this minecart. For some reason, he can run right over us and doesn't hurt us. So we better help this guy out. So it's really, really rusty. Thought maybe at first they might have had us go get like a special item like grease or something to use that, but nope. We just break the lever. And we finally save this guy who's been apparently riding that cart for 20 years. What did he eat? What did he drink? Maybe he's not really a human. The remake of this game for the Game Boy DS, they basically, it's very punny. Well, apparently the Dragon Quest games are full of puns over in the Japanese releases, but they kind of, when they localize them over here, some of those puns maybe may not be understood by Americans because there's, you know, language barriers and stuff, so they kind of localized the translation and took out a lot of the puns. But in the Dragon Quest remake for this, for the Game Boy DS, they give a clue as to that guy's identity because they call him Dr. Agon, which basically, if you put it all together, you kind of tell what he is. But right now, he's just some goof who comes with us who doesn't really add anything to the party. He just follows us around. He doesn't help us like how Healy did, or in Dragon Quest IV. He just follows us around. We hop in. Although in that remake that I mentioned, they do change it where you can have 4 party members at a time. They rebalanced the game a little bit. Made some of the enemies harder, bosses harder, because they knew that you can have an extra party member. Now we just take off and plunge into the lake. And luckily we land right in the Zenithian Castle, which luckily becomes a warp point for our party. So we can actually leave the castle by heading to the south. I'll show that off. If you do leave though, like I said, it just becomes a warp point, so you can just warp right back into it. There's not much we can really do here at the first time we're going through the castle, as you can see. Whether it would be like treasures or chests to explore, like drawers. We can't reach any of them because there's water blocking the way. I mean, we're technically underwater, so shouldn't we just be able to swim over that water? Or maybe there's like a magical bubble blocking. I don't know. But yeah, speaking of magic, we magically are teleported outside if we step out. But like I said, it doesn't matter because we can just always easily return there. Which is good because that Zenithian Pasan who came with us, Opusan, he is going to give us a quest that'll help us learn how to refloat this castle. Now, if you remember Dragon Quest 4, Dragon Warrior 4, I played through on my channel here earlier. If you go look at that one, the Zenithian Castle and that, playthrough, it has the same layout as this one here. So the Sky Tower is also very similar to the one in that game. It's just that in this game it's ruined. When in Dragon Warrior 4, it wasn't. Here's another throwback, I guess, to Dragon Warrior 1, where there's a hidden staircase behind the throne room, behind the throne. In that game, it was in the Dragon Lord's castle. He had his hidden staircase to get down to the bottom of the castle, behind his throne. And here we are. We have a glowing orb over here. It looks gold, but it's actually a silver. A silver orb emits a sad gray light. So you have a silver orb, and I guess this should be where the golden orb is, but it's gone. Jumping Josephat. The golden orb, it was supposed to be right here, but now it's gone. What? This hole? That hole was said to be opened when the ancient seal of evil awoke long ago. So the golden orb must have fallen through that hole and disappeared, and the remaining orb could not keep the castle afloat. Now I know why the Zenithian Castle fell from the skies, but when could the golden orb have disappeared to? Luckily, a faint trace of the orb's ore still remains on the altar. I'll use the orbs to meditate on the location of the orb. And we're going to see how this ties back to Generation 1. I will not spoil it, but you should read, if you haven't paid attention, there was a golden orb in Generation 1. We're going to see that right now, the story of that orb. So you can see it's a very early Super Nintendo game, because that sprite almost looks like it could be listed out of a Nintendo game, a regular NES game. So here comes the orb falling out of the sky, through the clouds. Where will it land on the Earth? Let's find out. Hey, that's Lenore Castle. Dunk. We'll see. You should remember who picked it up in Lenore Castle. If not, well, spoilers are about to happen. That's right, it was young Bean and Bianca. Isn't it beautiful now those two can rest in peace forever? But I wonder why the ghosts were tearing this castle apart in the first place. What's this? A beautiful gem. Must be a thank you. It's so bright. Let us take it with us. Bean found the gold orb. What happened? Hey! That looks like Bean on the left! An older Bean met a younger Bean. Time travel. It's like first Final Fantasy. Time travel again. But yeah, remember the golden orb? After we rescued Prince Henry, and Pappas was defeated by these goons, Gemma, this wizard here, destroyed the orb. Remember, he took it off us and broke it. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. That golden orb was the thing that was holding up the castle, and it's been destroyed. How will we ever get the castle to refloat with the orb gone? Oh, well, the golden orb's already destroyed. That means the palace will never float again. No, wait. According to legend, the ancestors of the fairies are said to have created the two orbs. Perhaps if you ask the Fairy Queen, she can once again create these orbs. Somewhere in the world there is said to be a forest that can take you to the fairy village. I shall wait here. I'm counting on you, Bean. And we were told that there's an entrance to the fairy forest to the east of Salabona, which is where, Ludman is from. And we have that mini quest that we can do with Ludman. But like I said, I don't want to do that mini quest until I get Harriet another level. So she gets level 22. So she learns the decrease spell. She's only one level away. So probably between episodes here, I'm going to do just a little bit of grinding just to get Harriet that level. And then that way, when I go to Salabona to use the flying carpet to get to that forest, before I do that, I can just partake in that little side quest, that adventure for Ludman. And that will help us get the final key, which will open up a lot more places for us. You don't have to do that side quest just yet, because the final key, you don't need it until you have to go to the Demon World. But it'll help us get some extra treasure, including some of those gold medals. the small medals to help Pippin get his final sword, that Falcon sword. So, take care, have a good one. I'll see you in the next episode with Harriet gaining another level. Take care, have a good one. Thanks for your time. Bye.